Welcome, welcome as you guys are slowly trickling in. It's great to see you guys today. Let's see, let me pull this up really quick. I want to apologize in advance. Totally spaced out on sending or like making a post about it in the community. I'm so sorry about that. That's not cool. Um, Welcome as you guys are slowly starting to jump in. Okay, so this is the webinar. I'm gonna change my name first off. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not Sarah. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. I've learned how to do it quickly now. Okay, perfect. I'm Hunter. I'm one of the coaches here in the program. If you guys are new to this webinar thing, welcome. It's good to see you. I'm so excited about what today's going to look like. It's going to be such a fantastic call, and we've got a lot to talk about. Okay, so it's going to be so good. Get your pens and papers ready. This is going to be a good one. So I last time I hosted this call, I started with a question that was something like, what's your favorite genre of music or something like that. So it had nothing to do with, overcoming pornography. So I want to do that again. I'm curious, but instead of music, let's do a different question. Okay. Um, I'm curious, this is super random, but what is your favorite type of cereal? Okay, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I want to make sure that you guys know where that is. Um, it's down on your little bottom thing. It's the Q&A. So it doesn't say chat like normal. It says Q&A. So click that. Go ahead and share. I'm curious, what is your favorite type of cereal to eat? Such a random question, but it's fun. While you guys are typing, oh, here we go. Torn. I love how you said torn. Torn between Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Fruit Loops. Yeah, so good. My favorite is probably I'm old guy at heart. I feel like because I'll eat Raisin Bran Crunch though. Raisin Bran Crunch. Yeah, Michael said Raisin Bran. Yes. Okay, it's only the best cereal, but Crunch, Raisin Bran Crunch is the way to go. Anybody else? What's your favorite cereal? Frosted Flakes, uh, Cinnabon. Cinnabon has a cereal. Really anything that makes milk sweeter than afterwards. True. What the heck? I had no idea Cinnabon had a cereal. That's news to me. Good stuff. Super random question, but I think it's fun. Why not? Crunch Crunch has too much sugar in it. That's probably why I like it. Cocoa Pebbles. Oh, my wife is obsessed with Cocoa Pebbles. It is like it's weird. Like she loves Cocoa Pebbles. Okay. So like I said, it's a funny question. Doesn't really have anything to do with the webinar or anything. I think it's just fun. And you proved to me that you know how to use the chat now. Gotcha. I'm just kidding. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the obstacles versus strategies. Okay, so this is I want this call to be very active. I want it to be, I want people to share their thoughts and ideas and comments in the chat. Okay. For those of you guys that are just jumping in, welcome. Sorry about I didn't post in the community board today, and I should have. It's okay. You guys are here anyway, so it's great. It didn't really do too much. Okay. So strategies or obstacles versus strategies. I'm gonna be sharing my whiteboard. Okay. I want this. Okay, let's see. Let me know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? Can you guys like in the chat, can you say like yes, no, yes, whatever? Give it a minute. Yes, yes. Okay, good. Thank you for being helpful. I appreciate that. Good stuff. It helps me out, makes it a little bit more smooth. Perfect. Okay. So, like I said, obstacles versus strategies. Okay. And this goes for, learning how to overcome pornography for good and get to that goal that you're looking for, right? Because everybody has the goal to, overcome porn for good. But what does that really look like? What do you want in life? Do you want to, have more control over pornography? Do you want to be able to control those urges or process those urges healthily? Okay. So this will allow us to break it down a little bit more. Okay. All right. So, be patient with me here while I do this, okay? Give me a second. All right. So I'm gonna make a beautiful table. Okay. I'm gonna put this chat over here. All right. So on one side, we're gonna do obstacles. Okay. And I'll touch more on what this really means. Stay close. Stay spell it. I think so. Okay. Obstacles versus strategies. Okay. Now, like I said, this is very important to for this call. I want you guys to be active in it, okay? Because the more activity, the better that this table, this T chart is gonna go. Okay, I promise you. All right. And at the end, you'll want to like screenshot or take a picture of it because it's solid. It's good stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples really fast of what an obstacle could look like. Okay. One of them is, a really common one is I'll throw it down here. Why not? Because I think someone's gonna say it. Um, uh, no time in day to, and this, by the way, this is referring to, continuing to make progress, overcoming pornography for good. Whether you're inside the program or outside the program, this applies either way. Okay. No time in day to, work on content or like work on tools. Okay. So I'll just put in that time. Okay. That's an obstacle. And I feel like that's a big one. All right. Um, okay, so with that being said, what are some other obstacles? This is where I want the chat to be active. Okay, please, please. What are some other obstacles that you guys have found in, your guys' journey here at the Center for Overcoming and your journey to overcome pornography for good, whatever that looks like for you? What are some obstacles that may pop up for you in this? Let's see. Urges, yeah, that's a huge one. Okay. I'll throw that in right here. Urges throughout the day. That's a great one. Come on, keep them going. What are some obstacles that you guys have throughout the day that can be tricky to overcome? Witching hours. Oh, that's a great one. Great one. And I'm going to be splitting this up between urges and witching hours because these are going to be a little bit different, okay? And we'll get to that in a minute. Dude, why can't I spell witching? Witching hours. Goodness. I promise I'm smart. Okay. Witching hours. Anyone else? Keep going. Keep them going. What are some other obstacles that you guys have found or came across? I have a couple that I think that you guys have found. I just don't want to say it. What about this one? Tell me your thoughts on this one. What are your thoughts on this one? Loss of motivation. I feel like that's such a big one. Okay. Being so used to porn consumption as a part of a routine that a day feels incomplete without it, even if you don't really desire the actual porn itself. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Joshua, that's huge. That's huge. I think, um, yeah, I mean, the idea behind our brains are, almost yearning for, this hit of dopamine. It's real, right? It's real. And you know what's something that's super cool about this is what you shared is even if you don't really desire the actual porn itself, and that's also true, right? And the idea behind most people that are here to overcome pornography for good don't turn to pornography for the porn use itself. Okay. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we're here, you're buffering from something to view pornography, right? But you're not, oh, here's porn, I'm gonna go view it for the porn, right? Your brain is looking for something deeper. And what it's looking for is, a buffer from emotions that you're trying to avoid, right? In the connection call that I had last night for, people in the program, we talked about how all emotion can be of benefit and has something to say, right? And who of you guys, this is kind of a tangent really quick, I'm curious, out of the people that are here, how many of you guys have watched either the first one or the second Inside Out? Who, just go ahead and say like I have or whatever. I'm curious. Who is seeing the Inside Outs? I've seen the first one. I have. Okay, not yet. Okay. Yeah, so the idea, the people that have seen it, bear with me for a minute. The people that haven't seen it, the idea behind it is that all emotion is good emotion, okay? And there's always a place for it. I promise you, this isn't spoiling anything. I would not be that guy to do that, okay? But in the first one and the second one, you learn that, new emotions that arise, naturally our brains are saying, "Oh my gosh, like we need to push those away because those aren't, that's not being happy all the time." Right. And in the first one, you learn that, joy is one of the emotions there, and she is saying over and over again like, sadness, you're ruining everything, like sadness, don't be here right now, like that's not what she needs. And at the end of the movie you realize, I promise you this isn't spoiling anything, okay, but you realize that sadness, you know has a big role, and that sadness was actually the one that Riley has to feel, and it's the same thing here, okay. Just like, let me go back up really quick a little bit. um just like what these comments are saying about how, you know, we you need to feel all your emotions, right? And that's what our brain has been so used to not doing, is feeling those emotions, right? I love that. Okay. Let's see a couple more obstacles. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, but you guys should go watch Call to Action. Go watch the Inside Outs. They're awesome. Loneliness. Oh, that's a huge one. Let's throw that down. Loneliness, consistently connecting with people in genuine, authentic ways. Yeah, and that kind of goes with no time. Like you could say like, like being busy. Gosh, I cannot spell today. Lonely. That's not how you spell loneliness. Oh my gosh. Loneliness. Here we go. Yeah, that's a huge one. Really good one. Don't look at the size differences of these words. They're all different. Okay. Solo travel and hotel. Okay, yeah. And that goes along here. We can say like, um, loneliness, uh, um, well, I'll just put traveling because that's really popular nowadays, right? Like, traveling for work, that's a huge thing. I love that. Anybody else have any other obstacles that you guys have found? Oh, whoa, what the heck just happened? Who in the world? Anyway, anybody else have any other obstacles that they have found to, like, as you're working through this, overcoming pornography for good? Lack of, oh, thank you. Now you guys are sharing. This is awesome. Okay. Lack of accountability, ease of access. Yeah. Um, these are great. Low self-esteem, desire for something pleasurable. Yeah. So you could even say like looking for dopamine hits, right? I don't like the, yeah, we'll say that. Looking for dopamine. We don't need to say getting a hit. Okay, let's see. Let's add this up. Difficulty identifying emotion. Yeah, and that's just processing it, right? And so I think that goes along with, oh my gosh, there's so many good ones, guys. You guys are rocking it right now. Um, low self-esteem, lack of accountability. Holy smokes, there's so many. We'll just leave them at this. But thank you guys so much for sharing. These are awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much for sharing. This is great. All right, so now we know, and I know if you guys did not share, I guarantee you that these one way or another relate to you, okay? Because these are, really big things that can, be obstacles in, you overcoming this for good. Oh, where are they at? Inside Out. It's on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, it's on there. If not, you could probably rent it for like $3 or something. If you copy and paste the previous thing you typed, everything should be the same size. Oh, whatever. I'm not as technical as Joshua over here. Anyway. Okay. Sorry, Joshua, is this bothering you? Do I need to change this to all the same size? Oop. Let's see. Oh, let's go all 24. How's that sound? Oop. No, no bother at all. Sure. We'll just switch them all. Apparently they were all 26. 29. Okay, here we go. Good stuff. Links to race. I don't know. All right. So all these obstacles have, they play big roles in, your journey in overcoming pornography for good. Okay. But what's something that's super helpful with this is that there's strategies that go behind each and every one of these obstacles that you have. Okay. Now I want to turn this off. Now we're gonna walk through each one of these, and I want your guys' opinions and your guys' ideas about each one of these, okay? So the first one is not having time in the day to work on overcoming pornography for good. What do you guys think are some, or those of you that don't have this obstacle, share with us, what strategies do you guys find or what things can help you as you're, working through this obstacle of, not having the time in the day or thinking you don't have the time in the day, I guess I should say. Go ahead and throw them in the chat. What's some ways if you tried everything to overcome temptation? Yeah, I'll touch on that in a minute, Justin. Let me pin that. Okay, we can check on that. Make it a priority. That is a huge one. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. Making it a priority is so important. Okay, and this can go with everything in life, right? Creating those priorities is really important. Prioritize. I want to be prioritized because um look how much easier this is. I can just go bang right to 24. Wait. Here we go. Okay. How many of you guys have seen the video about the professor talking about, hey, I want you guys to watch uh oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, this is what I was saying. How many of you guys have seen the video of the professor who has all of like the rocks and the pebbles and ping pong balls and all this stuff and sand, all this stuff, and the professor says, "Hey, I want you to put this all in this mason jar." And people try and they put the rocks in, they put the pebbles in, and or they pour the sand in, and they can't get all of the things in this mason jar, which can represent a time in the day, or the length the day. Oh my gosh, the entire duration of the day. Okay. And the idea behind it is showing that, hey, all we have to do is prioritize. Okay. If overcoming pornography is important to you, then throw that up at the top of the list, because that's something that can change your life forever, right? And so what the professor does is he um, instead of pouring the sand in first and then all of like the rocks and the pebbles, what he does is he puts the biggest things in first and then the smaller things around it and then pours the sand in at the end, and everything fits in the mason jar. Okay. And that just shows that, it's all about priorities here. Okay. So, if, the overcoming pornography for good is something that's big on your mind and something that you're looking for, right? Let's prioritize that. Those can be those big rocks that you put in the mason jar before you pour in the little things, right? And that alone can help you so much. Trying to work on it while you do something else, you already have time set for. Yeah, like listening to a podcast while exercising. Yes, exactly. The podcasts are awesome. And that's this big thing for me was I used to drive around a lot. And so what I would do is I'd turn on a podcast and, listen to it while I was working, and it was awesome. And it helps so much. Okay. Awesome. Any other strategies for for no time? I think prioritize is honestly like the biggest one, right? Creating priorities, right? And you can do like lists, or like even like a to-do list throughout the day that can help. Okay. All right. Now here's the no time one is a little bit easier to strategize. These next few are going to be a little bit trickier. Okay, this is going to take some thinking and some mindfulness practices to use in your strategies here. Okay, so if an obstacle for you is urges, and actually, who said urges? Let me go back up a little bit, because I'm going to put in whoever said it. Bear with me here. I'm going to put Processing urges. I did. Okay. I'm gonna do processing urges instead. Okay. Because urges is kind of broad. So processing urges, if you have if your obstacle is, one of them is processing urges, okay, what are some strategies that you have found, whether that's, Michael, Josh, Rob, whoever it is, what are some strategies that you guys have found and to, overcome this obstacle? What are some things that have helped you if you do have an urge and you try to process through it? Go ahead and think about it a little bit. It's a little tricky. Go ahead and throw them in the chat. There we go. Here we go. I always want you to remember that the chat is a little bit delayed, I think. Or you guys are just slow. No, I'm just kidding. Get in touch with somebody and you trust and talk about it. Yes. Yeah, just connection, right? Connection with others is so good. Talk to them. Yes. Ask your urge what it wants, right? Because what are urges? Urges are wise, right? They have something to say, so listen to them. I think that would. I think that. Why can't I read right now? I think that that would be great to see, but that I don't want to really feel crappy afterwards. Yes, yeah, yeah, and being able to process urges correctly, it's going to be a little. It's you won't feel that shame afterwards, and that's something that's really important. If you can learn how to process them in a healthy way, you're going to be able to find a lot of success without that shame kicking in, because that's a really big one for sure. Any other strategies that you guys have found when learning how to process urges? Because this is a huge one. Go ahead and throw in the chat. I'm curious. Okay, yeah, that's a great one. Let me type that one in really fast. So yeah, connection with others, asking the urge what it wants, and where'd that go? Here we go. And being, let me see. Yeah, because and being able to listen to them, okay? Being able to listen is really important as well, right? Because asking your urge what it wants is one thing, but being able to really listen and not, say, "Oh no, I asked my urge what it wants," but that's one part of it. But having the ability and that skill to, sit down and listen to what that urge is saying to you is really helpful. Okay. Now, another strategy that I could throw in here is you can do some actions. Okay. What I mean by actions is like I'll share my examples here. I have a piano right here, and for me, whenever I have an urge, I'll be really intentful with playing the piano. I'll say, I'm playing the piano because I'm processing the urge here. Okay. You don't always have to say, like, oh, I'm gonna feel this urge and do this. Like you can, or I guess, let me rephrase that. You don't have to just say, like, I'm gonna ask what this urge wants and listen to it, right? You can do it in other ways. You can do it in other movements, right? You can have intention of going to the gym and exercising and telling yourself, hey, I'm exercising right now to process through this emotion. And what is this emotion? It could be stress, anxiousness, sadness, boredom, whatever it is, right? And so you can do that through action too, right? Playing the piano is a big one for me. So I'll have intention when I play the piano and say, hey, I'm playing right now because of this reason, right? So actions could just be you know, have having intention behind them. Behind let's say like let's say actions. I'll just, dude, I'm all over the place today. Having intention, okay? Having intention is really, really important, okay? And this goes for, processing urges, but it has, uh, it's having intention in everything, because the more intention that you have, the more present you are, right? And the more present you are, the more memories you soak in, and the better you're gonna feel throughout your day, okay? Instead of going on autopilot all the time. All right. Anybody else have any questions about strategies for processing urges here? Okay. And we might tie a couple of these in together because a couple of them are pretty similar, unless you want one to be touched on specifically, okay? This next one, witching hours, is really, really important, okay? And this kind of goes along with processing urges, but a little bit different. Does anybody have any strategies when a witching hour comes up? Let's say it's witching hour at, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. What are some witching hours strategies that you guys can do, or what have you experienced that work? Go ahead and throw it in chat. Come on, you guys are quiet today. All right, let me go back up here. Okay, some strategies that can be really helpful for obstacles. Let's see. This is the biggest one in my eyes, okay? Preparation. Okay. Now, the reason why preparation is so important, there you go, Glenn kind of touched on it a little bit. Having a plan to do during that time and get started. Yeah, Glenn, I love that one. I love it. I love it. Yeah, preparation is really, really important. If you guys were here on the connection call yesterday, we talked about preparation as well, and the idea behind preparation, and knowing that, um, if you understand and know that, Wednesday evenings is really hard for you, why not prepare that day and say, hey, I'm going to switch some things up. I'm going to create this healthy schedule that can allow me to, be present throughout the day, which can then lead to an evening without viewing pornography. Even if you have that urge still, you've prepared for it all day long, right? It's like, I'm a big baseball guy, so I'm going to use this analogy really quick. If you're on the baseball diamond with your team and you've never practiced a bunt coverage before, or what a bunt, or like some sort of play in the field. Okay, I don't want to get too specific here. Um, and then if your coach calls that play that your team has never heard before, what are the chances of you executing that play to get an out? Probably, close to zero, right? But if you have prepared and you've practiced off the field, in a practice uh, and like on a practice mindset here, you'll have the you'll prepare to process those urges, or when your coach does call in a game, you now are prepared to make that out, right? It's the same thing here. If you have a witching hour and you understand that it's every single Wednesday, why not practice going through those motions and visualize what's going on, so you can then process those urges a little bit easier during a witching hour. So another one is preparation, but visualization, okay, is really important too. Okay. Has anybody ever done visualization? You guys don't have to answer on the chat, but just kind of think about that. If you haven't, I really encourage you to do it knowing you have a witching hour one of the days. Okay. It can really, really help. Think to yourself, going through, hey, when 6 p.m. hits on a Wednesday, this is what I'm going to do instead of, giving in to my urge. Okay. What can I do? And walk through it, be detailed about it. And it's going to help a ton. Okay. A lot. All right. Now, this last one I'm going to touch on, unless you guys want to walk through these ones. Because we're fine on time. I think we're okay. Loss of motivation. This one is so common, especially for people that are working on podcast, working in the school community, um, or working in the program. A lot of times when you get started on something new like this content or this idea, you're gonna start off super strong, right? You're gonna be stoked about it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to learn about this content here, right? But eventually you're gonna fade a little bit, and that motivation is gonna start to dwindle, okay? And that's where that commitment needs to come into play, right? But if this loss of motivation you can start to recognize it, what are some strategies you could do? And this one, I know people have answers to. Okay, so go ahead and share a few. I'm curious in the chat, what are some strategies that you guys have found that have worked or that you want to work in, um, when you have these feelings of, motivation dwindling? Take a nap. Yeah, right. Listen to music. Okay, I love it. I love that. Oh my gosh, where'd my camera go? Where'd my camera go? What? Okay, give me keep sharing these really quick. Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can fix my camera really fast. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm trying to get this back on. Let's see. Did it work? Can you guys see me now? Someone say yes. I think my camera's working now. Okay, good. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Okay, let me scroll back up here really fast. Let's see. Take a nap, listen to music, clean up my apartment, ask myself where I want to head, follow the plan, not your feelings. Love it. Just start doing something like clean a house. Yeah. Work on hobbies minus photography. Oh, photography is so good. Um, work on hobbies. Let's see. The same strategies as having no time, prioritizing scheduling, because if I let my motivation decide instead of my schedule, eventually I stop doing it. Yeah, oh, that's huge. Yeah, I love that, Joshua. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Something, I'm gonna throw all these in because these are awesome. Okay. And this can be for um, motivation working to overcome pornography, or this can even be like you guys touched on is, if you just have motivation to kind of just like go about your day. Sometimes it can feel a little down, and that's okay, right? Like that is okay. Let's see. I love this one. Follow plan, not feelings. Okay. Oh, I'm actually gonna rephrase that just a tad though, because sometimes following your feelings can be really helpful, but um, not how do I want to phrase that? Honestly, the way to say that is just like be disciplined, basically. But okay, let's see. Um, where do I want to be? Plain music, gym. Let's see. Work on a hobby, any hobby, honestly, right? Whoop, hobby with an I. It's so good. Take a walk. Oh, I love it. And Michael, go ahead and share with us really quick, just on the chat. Um, when you take a walk, what do you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself anything as you're taking this walk? What do you do with that? I know it's gonna take a second for you to chat or to type it. Anyway, last of motivation. Where do I want to be? Clean, the gym. The podcast talks about the difference between motivation and commitment. Yeah, and that you want to depend on the latter because it doesn't ebb and flow like motivation. Exactly, exactly, and that's what I was just about to touch on, Glenn. So you are the best ever. Um, the idea that it's okay to have motivation go up and down. I think that's really normal because it's not like you're gonna have one high of motivation and then all of a sudden never feel motivated to do anything again, right? It's gonna continue to go up and down. But in those, um, valleys of motivation where it's starting to go down a little bit, that's where commitment needs to come into play. And then when that commitment comes into play, it's going to then shift back into motivation because you're like, holy smokes, I'm rocking it right now, right? And then you kind of work through it that way. Okay. Um, I love that. I love this list that we've got. Yeah, no, where do I want to be? And asking yourself that can be really helpful. Just cleaning and getting your mind to go do something for a little bit can be really helpful. And remember, I'm going to put this in parentheses again, all about intention. Okay. It's all about the intention behind it. Okay. If you're just cleaning because you're sad and you're like, whoa, whatever, like that's one thing, right? And you can do that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? But if you're looking to, stay committed into something or, even committed throughout your day, whatever that looks like, having an intention behind it and saying, hey, I'm cleaning right now to kind of get my mood back. And I'm listening to music right now to kind of swing myself back into, you know, into play here type idea. Michael said, I tell myself that I don't need these urges. They offer nothing in my life. They only struggle my life. Yeah, yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing, Michael. I appreciate that. Sorry to put you on the spot a little bit. Okay. Um, do you guys want we got time. We got time. Okay, loneliness and travel, okay? And I want to leave a little bit of time to, talk about one more thing really quick before we're done here. Loneliness and travel, okay? So like if you're traveling or if you're feeling lonely, what are some strategies that you can do to, if you are lonely? Like let's say I want to pretend here for a minute that you can't call a friend, you can't like nobody's answering the phone. Okay, what can you do? Oh, where'd it go? What can you do if you're alone and nobody's answering the phone and you have your phone with you? Right? What are some strategies that we can use here? Okay. What are you guys' thoughts or experiences? I guess we're all just going to be lonely and never be able to process or just lonely, huh? No, I'm just kidding. One thing that can be really helpful that I'm going to type in really quick is this. Okay. So when you're lonely or when you are like physically alone, in a hotel room or, your spouse is gone or whoever it is, um something that can be real and you can't, obviously I'm making this in like the worst way possible because I want to make sure that you guys can rely on yourselves, not just on other people, right? Call or text a friend you haven't talked to in a while. I love that. I really, really do. But what if they aren't texting back or if they can't jump on a call? Bingo, you got it. You read it. Yeah, read a book, right? You can read a book. Get doing something like that can be healthy. Take the batteries out the remote. Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm gonna, read a book's pretty specific, but I love it. Okay. Um, you can even honestly, one of my favorite things is being present. If I'm alone, like being present. And what that looks like for me is calling out how I'm feeling. This is like ginormous. That's okay. Calling out how I'm feeling and what, whoa, and what I'm thinking. Okay. Let's see. Dang it. I wanted that to wrap around. It didn't work. Okay. Calling out what I'm feeling and thinking is really, really good. Okay. When I'm alone in a hotel room, I like to have something I really want to do queued up. I love that. A show to binge, or something that's on, totally ready to go with a link, for example, no browsing around hunting for something. Yeah, I love that, Glenn. I love that. Having, a plan or having an idea of like, okay, if I'm in the hotel room or, if I'm at home and my partner's gone, what are some things that I can do? Okay. And right now, like my wife and I have this like weird like painting like lion thing that we have been like painting. And so, if she's gone, right? And like I have something come up, right? I have something that I can go do and say like, hey, you know what? I can, fill time with this right now. I don't have to always be doing something like insanely active, right? I love that. Let me close this. Let's see. I love that. Okay. Um, do you guys know what I mean? But like when I say calling out how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, do you guys know like the tools to do that? You guys like feel okay with that? Because this can be a whole other, call, a whole other webinar, honestly. We've kind of touched on it. I know you can learn about it in the community as well. But basically, to go over it really quickly, a couple of you guys are saying yes, a couple no's. But basically, what this looks like is you sit down and you can start with a box breathe. Okay, and what that is and there's a tons of different ways to box breathe. Okay, you can do a simple one where it's 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out. I think that's kind of hard for me. So you could do, 4 in, 2 hold, 4 out. And what that looks like is like, you take a deep breath and you do it for 4 seconds in, and then you hold and you go out. Okay. And what this is going to do, it's going to get your brain online and telling yourself, okay, like, I'm intentionally breathing right now. I'm not just breathing to live. Okay. And then what you're going to do is sit down where you are or stand up, whatever you, and you're going to tell yourself, I am feeling this. And it's not emotionally first, okay? I'm not talking about emotionally, like how you're feeling emotionally. It's, I'm feeling, tired. I'm feeling heavy. I'm, uh, feeling energized. I'm, feeling hot. I'm feeling cold, okay? Like these things that are a little bit easier for you to call out, you're going to call out those feelings, okay? Then you're going to ask yourself what you're thinking about those feelings, right? If, hey, I'm feeling super tired right now. And, I'm thinking about, going to bed. Or, I'm thinking about, laying down and listening to some music or whatever it looks like. Okay. And at first it's going to feel a little funky, but I promise you it's so cool to see yourself in this light instead of just on autopilot all the time. Okay. But like I said, this can be a whole thing. We touch a lot about, being present and working on, almost jumping off autopilot all the time in the program a lot. But that's briefly, very, very briefly, something that you could do. And this really, really helps because it helps me a ton. Okay. Now looking for dopamine, this one's pretty the strategies here, you just have to it's a lot of, our I'm just gonna kind of fill this one in really fast. Our brains don't know um like the difference between dopamines. There's only one. Okay. So if you're happy, you're obviously going to get a shot of dopamine. If you view pornography, your brain's going to get that same dopamine, but our brains are saying, hey, I remember Tuesday at 6 p.m. I got a shot of dopamine. I want that again. Right. And our brain says, I know where we got that and how we got it. Okay. And then that's how you kind of turn to pornography. Right. But you can, the thing is, though, is you can find other ways to give yourself that dopamine that it's looking for around those witching hours, right? I'm like using my hands, showing my camera, but using these witching hours here, okay? And it's all about what you find to be energizing, reviving, hopeful for you, and you know, almost in a way like I'm going back to this again, being intentional about what you're doing, and your brain's gonna get that dopamine. Okay, does that kind of make sense a little bit? So that this is an incredible. I was kind of more explaining that one, so I'll just delete that one. But this is what obstacles and strategies are. Notice that we're able to find strategies to every single one of these obstacles, okay? These are so common. And if you can, understand how to go about each one of these, it's going to make all the difference in overcoming pornography for good. Okay. Any questions at all? You guys feeling hiccups? Is everybody feeling okay about it? Okay. Awesome, awesome. So, for the last little bit, I want to talk to you guys about this really fast. The idea behind, obstacles and strategies, and there's not a better place to, point out those obstacles and figure out strategies that can help you the best than here in the program. And that's not even like in the paid program, that's just being here on this webinar. And that's exactly what these phone calls that we have are for, right? Jeremy is our phone call guy. If you guys are familiar with him, he's an absolute stud. He's awesome. And these phone calls are, places where you can point out these obstacles, find these strategies, and understand really what's going on. He's so good at what he does. And so I encourage you guys to jump on um and schedule a call with him. I'll send you guys the link in here really fast. Whoop, let's see. Well, give me 1 second. Okay, let's see. I can turn off my thing, I think. Do you guys still want me to keep this up, by the way? This obstacles and strategies. Do you guys want me to keep it up for a minute? You guys feeling okay? Okay. Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this. I'm fine. I'm good. Good. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna end this then. Perfect. Oh, I can see you guys again. All right. Let me send in this link really fast. Let's see. Did you guys get it in there yet? Can you guys see it yet or no? No? No. Oh my gosh. Why isn't it working? Okay. Anyway, I want, let's see. I don't know why I can't get it to um send in there though. I want to send in the link right here. Anyway, the link is I don't know why it's not going in there. Um, but the link is where you can book a call with Jeremy. Okay. I encourage you guys to jump on there and book a call there. He's so good. And if you're looking to, continue to work for a life of overcoming pornography for good, he's there for you. He's gonna help you get to where you want to be and um, point you in the right direction. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Does anybody have any questions at all? Thank you guys so much for jumping on. It was awesome. Any questions? You feeling okay? Thumbs up. Thanks, 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 thanks. Okay, awesome. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Message me on school if you need to. I'm here for you. Jeremy's here for you as well. It's an awesome place to be. Keep up the hard work. You did a great job with the crunch. Thank you. Good stuff. Yeah, it's great to see you guys. I love these calls. They're so much fun. I still don't know why my link didn't send into the chat. Super annoying, but whatever. The link, if you guys are looking for it though, go to classrooms and then you'll find the link in the classrooms on the first little like start here tab. Okay. Start there, book a call with him. He'll help you get to where you want to be. Okay. Awesome, awesome. It's so great to see you guys. We'll talk soon.